What's up, team? The road to 100k in 100 days challenge is finished. It's done. It ended up being incomplete, I'm not gonna lie, but we got a good amount of progress done in quite a short amount of time. So I'm quite happy with that. So for those that don't know, um, I'm gonna show you this. On April 7th, 2025, I started a Road to 100k in 100 days challenge that finished July 16th, 2025. And the goal was to get $100,000 in new business, which for me would be 25 new clients. I sell my advertising services. Pretty much the goal is to sell to residential contractors that need more jobs through social media advertising. We sell that service for a $4,000 upfront fee, $3,997, and then we take 5% commission per job that we generate. So it's kind of like a win-win partnership. They sign up once and never have to pay again. We only get paid after that if we provide results, and of course we work on a commission basis. We don't win if our customer doesn't win. If our customer doesn't win, obviously we want to get paid, so we intend to get them paid so we can get paid. And when I say we, by the way, this whole 100-day challenge was strictly me. I was the one in charge of the marketing and advertising and content creation, in charge of the sales, taking all the sales calls, all the warm calls. I was in charge of the onboarding for my client, of the service delivery for my client, the fulfillment for my client, as well as the ongoing fulfillment for my client, which I suppose I'll talk about shortly. But I actually was making the calls to my clients' prospects, who were indeed homeowners, because I help residential contractors that help homeowners. I call the homeowners on behalf of my client, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, the goal was to get 25 new clients. I ended up getting 8 new clients. So instead of getting the $100,000 in new revenue, I ended up getting just shy of $32,000 of upfront fees for the business, which is a blessing. Even though I didn't hit the goal, I'm very happy with it. I've never got that many clients in such a short period of time, so it's something I'm quite happy with. So I'm going to start from the beginning here. I've got some notes here on the computer, so don't mind me when I look at the computer here. The reason I started this, that's a good question. The reason I started this was just to push myself a little bit. You know, I've been doing what I do right now for a long time, over 2 years, and I'm quite happy cruising. Like, I'll be honest, a lot of the times the mindset isn't, how can I grow this massively? It was all about freedom for me, which I attained quite easily. I mean, like I said, I've been doing what I'm doing for 2 years, and my price wasn't always $4,000 setup fee with a 5% commission. Throughout the years, I've changed my setup fee and my pretty much cost, my type of deal a lot of times. When I first started this type of service, what I was doing was I'll offer 30 days free. You get a free 30-day trial, don't have to pay me a dollar. Once you get results, and if you like me and if you want to keep working with me, then you can pay $1,000 a month for 3 months. That's our deal, our agreement. Got a few clients like that, but of course it kind of sucks when you leave a sales call, you sales meeting with no money in your hand. You're like, okay, I'm going to now have to spend 15, 20 hours making sure this account actually gets results, and then I get paid $1,000. And over the course of 1 month, $1,000, if you do the math, it's less than minimum wage. So I was a bit like, okay, that didn't work out too well. So I upped the price to $2,000. Got a few clients like that, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but my churn's quite high. I wasn't providing great results, so I had to take a bit of time to actually learn how to provide these good results. I learned what a residential contractor wants when someone reaches out to their clients, to their prospects. I learned how to get even better at Facebook ads and get more leads. Meta ads, they're called now. How to get more leads from my customers. And I also had to learn how to keep a client. I've researched churn. Why are my clients leaving me? Am I not providing enough value? How do I provide more value? How do I get more customers for my clients? How do I get more customers for myself and keep these customers? These were the questions I was asking myself. So the goal from there was to, okay, how do I keep my customers? And B, how do I get more money? How do I charge more? Because I'll be getting paid $2,000 and then my client will land a $40,000 kitchen renovation. a $60,000 kitchen renovation, a $25,000 bathroom renovation. And I was like, okay, I just got you that job. How do I get a cut of this? So that's where I've come to where I'm at today, which is a $3,997 setup fee, one time. You pay it, you're a client, and then 5% commission fee after that. No retainer, no nothing. The setup fee is a one-time thing. You never pay again. And the commission means if we don't get you any results, you never have to pay us again. When we get you $100,000 of results, you pay us $5,000. Fair, and it always seems to be quite fair. So that's the current system of how we operate. Cool. So I want to give you a breakdown of the numbers. So as you can see, we got 8 clients, and the revenue for 8 clients was this: $31,976. You can see right there, nice and simple. That wasn't all. That's the best bit. That's not everything. For these 8 new clients we got, I say I got, we generated them 11 jobs at just shy of $113,000 and a half, $113,500, so $1,113,500, just shy of that. It was $1,113,436. Cool. Which means there was an average deal value of $10,318, which is good. So that means an average deal we got for our clients was over $10,000. I'm very happy with that. Now that's not like humongous in the residential contracting space. It's actually quite small jobs. Haven't landed any big renovation jobs, as you can tell. But put yourself in my customer's perspective. If they're paying $4,000 for a job, for a service like mine, in the first month or 2 months or 3 months, we generate them 1 or 2 or 3 new jobs, and each average job is $10,000. Let's say your margins are, 30%. You're making $3,000 the first month, $3,000 the second month, $3,000 the third month. That's $9,000 in profit, and you just paid $4,000, $5,000 in profit for essentially, a good service. So it makes sense for them. Now, from that $113,500 in revenue for our clients, an average deal value of $10,318, that brings our total commission to $5,675. Not bad. Not bad considering the job is actually quite easy after onboarding. The main thing that's extremely time consuming is me calling on behalf of my clients, the prospects that engage with their ads. Because when I sign these clients up to my services, I get access to their Facebook or Meta Business Suite. I get access to their ads manager and their ad accounts. So I can do the ads for them, hence the point of my service. All of my clients pay a minimum of $20 a day to Facebook to run ads, to run ads on Facebook and Instagram. Cool. They usually generate every month like 40 to 50 leads. Sometimes it's way more, sometimes it's like 30, but it's never less than 30. The main issue is the time wasters. And the more clients I got, the more time I had to spend every day on the phone calling qualified prospects, but also time wasters. And that was a really big issue, but I'll get back to that in a second. Let's talk about numbers again. So in total, we had the $31,976 from setup fees, brilliant. And then we had the extra $5,675 from ongoing commission. That ended up being $37,651 in total revenue. Great number, very happy with it. And these were all my expenses. So I'm going to tell you these 3 expenses. They were very, very cheap. So you'll see these margins are really, really good. The biggest expense, obviously, was ads. Not actually as much as I thought it would be. I'll tell you why in a moment. But I spent $1,009.28, excuse me, and 87 cents on ads. $1,009.87 on ad spend. $147 on my website. That's over 3 months, of course. And for the first month, I used a platform called Xero, Xero. That was $40.25. I actually used that for their invoicing templates because some people didn't like using Stripe or PayPal. I don't like using PayPal because they held my money one time, so screw PayPal, and they took a big cut. So essentially, all the clients I got came directly from bank transfer. That's how they paid to get on board. Cool. Which brings us to a total of, when you have the revenue minus expenses, the net profit, quite happy with this, $36,453.88. So I worked 100 days for $36,453.88. And 1 second, I actually want to know this. I'm quite curious about this. So I didn't even know this until I just Googled it. My $36,453.88 divided by the 100 days that I spent working comes out to $364.50 a day. So even the days when you guys saw it, there was many days where I was lazy, I didn't do a lot of work, I didn't make the calls I should have been making, I didn't send the emails I should have been sending. Even with those terrible days and as part of this journey, I still averaged out to over $360 a day. It's a much different way of looking at business like that. Like if I'm waking up thinking I'm making 360 today, let's go, I'd be a lot more inclined to work than I haven't closed a deal in a week. I haven't closed a deal in 2 weeks. Oh, this sucks. So I think that's a very interesting mindset shift. Something that maybe you should take on board as well. Something I'm definitely going to take on board. The profit wasn't, is it worth it? I don't know. Now, the profit was awesome, but I'm not going to lie, it took up so much of my time. The main, in any business, the main 2 things are this: getting more customers and making sure your customers are happy. So in turn, you can get more customers and make sure your customers are happy so you can, it's a never-ending cycle. I broke it down into 2 kind of sections. Number 1 is marketing and sales to get more customers for myself. Cool. Number 2 is client fulfillment and making sure my clients get results. Cool. I would rather spend more time on the marketing and sales for my own company so I can make more money for myself than I would on my customers, because end of the day, I'd rather make more money for myself than other people. That's just fair. That's human nature. But I say this, you have to spend time making your customers money, because if you don't make them money, they're going to leave you. You get a bad rep, you get a bad review, and everything's down the drain. Your reputation is essentially everything. So what I ended up doing is, again, taking a step back. Since I was the one that was making the calls to the ads of my clients, right? So my clients are now advertising to homeowners, offering a service around the house, whether that's plumbing, electrical work, landscaping, painting, building, They're running ads to homeowners, essentially asking if you need a renovation done. I'm the one that gets in touch with them and says, hey, you filled out an ad about the new deck, about the kitchen upgrade, about the bathroom upgrade, about the interior and exterior painting of your home. Talk to me. How's the home? What type of home do you live in? What type of material is your home built with? I just ask the basic questions, right? And essentially, once they're qualified, I say, cool, sounds like you fit. Have a chat with our big boss. He'll come out, give you a quote. Where do you live? What's the best time to see you? We'll organize a time right now. That's how it worked, okay? I ended up with these 8 clients, 8 new clients, by the way, spending so much time making these calls, it wasn't even funny. I spent so much time making these calls. Each client would take 20 to 30 minutes a day of calls being made. I had 8 clients. You can do the math. It was taking up so much of my day. It was taking up more of my day than me working on my own business. And you know the saying that people say, it's whether it's you're employed or you're an employer, it's you don't want to be working on your job. Excuse me, you don't want to be working in your job. You want to be working on your job. I was stuck working in my job as opposed to working on my job. My goal is to grow my agency to make more money. I was stuck in my agency and I was making no more money. Even though one could argue that I'm getting the 5% commission per deal that we generate, that's a fair point. And trust me, I had to, trick myself into thinking that. But let's say I get a job, and the numbers speak for themselves. If the average deal value is about 10 grand, and then I get 5% of that, that's $500. So I just spent, let's say there's, hypothetically, 3 deals per week over my 8 clients. Okay? Could be more, could be less. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, 3 deals a week. That means I'm making $1,500 a week off the back of $30,000 in new revenue. 5% of 10,000, that's 500 times 3, 500, 500, 500, $1,500. Okay, cool. So I spend hours and hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day, making these calls to make $1,500. Okay. By the way, some weeks that's going to be 0. So I spend 4 hours a day making calls to make $0. Okay, cool. Or I spend time on this side running ads for myself, taking sales calls myself, and at the end of each sales call I make $4,000. You do the math. One of them is $4,000 per successful call. One of them is $500 a successful call. And the successful calls here are far and few between because these are, cold leads, they're unqualified leads. Interesting. Okay. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it because I made some good money. Not life-changing money. I'm not a millionaire. But it was good money. 100%. Was it worth my time? Again, I'd say yeah. But am I willing to sustain this for the next however many months and years? The answer is no. And that is why I'm employing people. So you'll see toward the end of my video, my 100K and 100-day challenge videos, the last week, maybe 10 days, I was talking about hiring people. And that is exactly what I've done. Exactly what I've done. And I'm very happy I have. And it's very nerve-wracking / awesome / interesting to hire people because every single day money's going out the door with these hires. But it's a blessing because every single day I'm saving hours a day on phone calls and I'm getting qualified leads in my pipeline, in my calendar, essentially every day. So there's pros and there's cons, but there's certainly more pros than cons, or else you would never do it. That's like any decision ever. Why would you make a decision if there's more cons than pros? No one's going to do that. And by the way, you guys can probably see it here, but this is where I did it from. This exact desk. I'm in my room. Look at this. This is my room. My bedroom. I did this from my bedroom and my car. I did some work in my car too. Not a lot, but a little bit. You can do this from anywhere. There was a point in the video, the 100-day challenge video vlogs, where I was considering heavily getting an office. Now that I look back, if I had have done that, that would have been stupid. And I'm glad I realized that in the moment. The reason that actually I didn't do that is because Claude and ChatGPT, I essentially told them my situation. I said, this is my goal, this is my situation. I want to get an office, what do you recommend? And it said, use this, buddy. You don't need an office. And I was like, you know what? As much as I want one, you're right. I don't need an office. So I didn't get one. The only thing I spent money on was ads, as you saw. Ads, website, and Xero. And I don't even need Xero anymore because I pretty much copied the template of the invoice And that's what I send my invoices on. I don't need to pay $40 a month for zero. So, ads. My main issue with ads was this. I couldn't get in touch with all the leads that filled out the lead forms quick enough. I couldn't. I simply couldn't. There's not enough time in the day. You'll see, you remember I said I spent $1,009.87 on these ads. It was all in one go. It was all in one go. I had leads coming into this challenge to call, which was a blessing. And then when I exhausted those leads, essentially, I ran new ads. And these ads only ran for 1 week. I think even less, maybe 6 days. But I got over 100 leads in those 6 days. I couldn't call them all as quickly and efficiently as I wanted to. The goal would be, if a lead comes in today, I want to call it today or tomorrow. Perfect. But if I'm getting a lead come in today, but I have 25 other leads that also came in today, I can't make 25 phone calls. And yes, I can make 25 phone calls technically, but I want to make good phone calls. The lead forms that these leads fill out is this: name, number, business name. Business name is the main point. So before every call, I jump online and on Google, on Instagram, on Facebook, Google My Business, on YouTube, I look at their business. Don't get me wrong, if there's nothing there, all right, cool, I'm straight into the call. But if there's stuff there, I want to see what they're doing. Again, what's going right, what's going wrong. If they're spending money on ads, how are the ads doing? You know, I can kind of get a gauge from that just by looking at their social media. And then from there, I tailor my script just a little bit more to make it a bit more personal to them. So that's why I've hired someone. So again, I've hired 2 roles. One role is calling the homeowners off the back of the leads we generate for our clients. So that's the service delivery side, the fulfillment side. Cool. And then one of them, the other hire, is it's actually sales development rep role, which is an appointment setter. So from when the leads for my agency come in to our pipeline, essentially, our CRM, they are the one that call these leads and quickly qualify them. Something that I can't be doing the whole time. So my new role is going to be this. It's going to be making the content and the ads for my agency to get people interested. Okay, cool. From there, the prospects go to my SDR, who's going to qualify them and book them in with me. From there, I get the notes, I can listen to the call recording, I make a sales presentation, which doesn't take too long because I have like a template of what I always go off, which is a blessing, but I'll tailor make it to the client, of course. I'll take the sales call. If and when the sales call goes well and they become a client, I have to spend 1 hour onboarding them. I then have to spend 3 to 4 hours doing the client fulfillment, which is essentially the main bit. Getting all the content from them, making the content into ads, 3, 4, 5 variations, sometimes more, never less than 3. Set up the ad campaigns, the copy, of course the creative's already done at this point, the offer, how they're going to differ from other advertisers in their area, and how they're going to be better, and what the sales process is going to look like. This takes about 3 to 4 hours to do. After that, it's about 2 hours every 2 weeks, which is a lot easier, but that's my new job. It's the CEO role, which I'm very, very happy with. And if you were curious as to what this looks like, I can update you on that if you want. But yes, I indeed have 2 people working for me, which is crazy. Crazy to think. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome managing them, managing clients as well as a team. And perfect world, I just keep growing and essentially step back from the business bit by bit. But that's further down the line. Yeah, what went wrong? There were some bits that went wrong. Probably the main bit that went wrong for me was my time management. Now that's not a business issue, that's a personal issue. So my time management skills were quite poor. And I mentioned this in the videos on the channel. But there were parts where I was extremely complacent. When I'd close a new client, my mindset was always like celebration. Like, yes, $4,000 in one phone call, I'm the best. Like, oh my gosh, I'm too cool. When in reality, that is so far from the truth, because from that $4,000, I had to spend $250 on ads to get it. I now have 4 or 5 hours of setup that needs to be done. I now have 90 days of an agreement that I have to provide good results to this client, or else they're going to essentially hate me, leave me a bad review, give me a bad rep, which they should do if I'm providing a dreadful service. And yeah, the attitude was always like, celebrate. Yes, I'm happy. As opposed to like, okay, this system worked. This is really good. How can I make it better? How can I maybe train someone else to do this? How can I put this in a system so someone else can train someone else to do this? How can I make this more scalable? How can I charge more money? How can I have a better product? How can I have a better customer experience? How can I keep this customer for more than the 90 days that we're planning to keep them? Questions like this. So that's kind of the main shift I've had in mindset since kind of completing this challenge. Unsuccessfully completing this challenge, of course. Now, I probably could have got to 25 deals in 100 days, 100K in 100 days revenue, if you know what I mean. But that would have been really bad. And the reason it would have been really bad is I would have treated probably the last 15 of those clients dreadfully. Dreadfully. Like, it would have been bad. And I wouldn't have done it on purpose, like purposefully treated them bad. But what would have happened is I would have been so ridiculously busy, been so overwhelmed, had so little help around. Like, I had no help. I had no employees, no one around me to help, no one to kind of turn to. And I would have just been all over the place. I would have been kind of probably texting at random hours of the night saying, hey, we've just done this. This is the next step. I would have probably been calling at random hours saying, hey, have you done this? Just double checking you've done this. Okay, we've just done this. You got to do this on your end. It would have been all over the place. Like, literally no systems. Like, honestly, no systems were in place. No systems. And that's no one else's fault but mine. So I'm actually quite glad it didn't happen. And I'm glad everything's worked out the way it has worked out. Now, as for the future, as I said, I've just employed 2 people. The reason I did this is, number one, to help with client fulfillment, service delivery. Cool, that's kind of taken care of. Saves me a lot of time every single day. And the other side of things is I want to be running ads the whole time. And the only way I can be running ads the whole time is if I have that SDR, sales development rep, the appointment setter, there to qualify these leads and book them into appointments with me in my calendar. Now, yes, I could do it all myself, but why would I do it if I just made some good money and can afford to pay someone else to do it? That's the real question. Why would I do it? The question is why. And the answer is, it makes more sense to pay someone else to do it. Because then maybe down the line, that person can then replace me, right? Maybe they have so much experience in booking appointments. I show them a few sales calls, show them what to do, what not to do, show them a bunch of examples, maybe have them on some live calls, and then they can do it. They will get paid more commission. They can then train someone who was in their former position, right? Is this kind of coming together and making sense? I'm hoping it is. This is what it was like for me. So if I'm explaining this to you in layman's terms, forgive me. I like things nice and simple. This is how I comprehend things in my mind. Yeah, probably the biggest lesson I learned was, number one, it's always about your client. So no 2 sales presentations are always going to be the same. It's always going to be tailored to your client. Even if their issues are almost the exact same. In my case, they have issues with lead generation. They have issues with getting new customers. They have issues with having a full pipeline and getting in touch with these customers quickly and efficiently. That's what we take care of. So yeah, number one is no sales call will ever be the same. But number 2, you have to get yourself right before you get your business right. Like, your business is just a reflection of yourself. If you're a mess, with no systems in place in your personal life and, your family life and all of that, what makes you think your business life is going to be on point? It's going to be perfect. It's going to be stress-free. The answer is it's not going to be stress-free. It's going to be just as bad and maybe even worse, because remember, you're working for strangers. Like, I don't go out and ask my mate to become my client because A, he's not a target market. I couldn't help him if he's not a residential contractor. But B, when you let down a stranger that just gave you thousands of dollars, that's a different type of guilt. There's so much on your shoulders. When you think about it, it's not just me getting a $3,997 payday. It's a father just gave away $4,000. It's a husband just gave away $4,000. It could be used for their kids, could be used for the next month of rent, the next week of rent. Could be reinvested in their business and hiring another person. There's so many different, this, it affects the marketplace. It affects the economy. So I don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly at all. Again, I don't really know where I'm going with this point, but you got to have yourself under control before you have your business under control. The main thing I took away, one of the main things, was systems. I have to have systems. And that's what I spent a lot of time doing. Making good systems. Making bulletproof systems that are super simple, super clear, that work, that make sense, that are really easy to read and understand. And that's how I like to operate. I don't like it extremely in depth, but I want to know how to do it. I want to know what are some common things that pop up, some objections or some issues that you face on a day-to-day basis. And when they pop up, how do you overcome them? What not to do, what to do. And just put everything in a nice, in a gift box, tie it up with a bow on the top, and present it to a team member. That's how you make a good system. At least that's what I think. So yeah, I'm really happy I did this. Again, I could have been, I could have just kept doing what I was doing, which is landing a client every month or so, maybe every 2 months, and just cruising and living a regular life. But the goal is always to grow and expand and do better. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And without that self-accountability and without accountability full stop, which I now have with more clients and team members that I have to be paying for, I can take it really far. And I'm very happy about that. I'm very proud of that. And it's something that I'm going to work very hard to make sure happens. Now, would I do this again? I wouldn't want to. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to, I'd do it again. I mean, it's kind of cool to know that this was probably, fingers crossed, the only time I'm going to have to do this. The only time I'm going to have to work this much and do these activities that I think absolutely suck again and again and again to make $1. Yeah, because at the point I'm at now, with, again, 2 team members, it should be smoother sailing. Not smooth, but smoother sailing. Now, if it gets more and more and more and more stressful exponentially, maybe I've got some things to look at. Unless, of course, the juice is worth the squeeze. If you're compensated massively, then, of course, you're going to continue to do what you're doing. But, would I do what I just did for the same amount of money I did it for? Yes. But would I want to do that every 100 days of my life until I die? No. No, I would not. Because you look at the day in the lives of, these massive CEOs that have hundreds of people under them working very hard, and they get a, percentage of the sales or, profit. They're making way more than me, and they're working way less. So I thought, you know what, let me take a step back. Let me try learn the CEO position, and let's go. And this is me stepping into the next, chapter of the journey. Should you try this? I say yeah. If you want to do it, go for it. But just know that it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of time. And I would recommend just make a basic system, super basic system. And if you're in my shoes and you have a bit of success early, I'd make a system and look to hire ASAP. Like if it's I've heard Alex Hormozy talking about this, but look, if it's a $15 an hour task and you're valuing your time at more than $15 an hour, it makes total sense to hire someone for $15 an hour to do that task. Because if that $15 an hour task is taking 4 hours of your day, and in 4 hours you could make 5 sales calls and potentially make 20 grand, then maybe you should pay that person $15 an hour to do it. That's just the way the world works, the market works, the economy works, capitalism, baby. So I'd recommend you do it. Give it a go if you want. If you don't want to, I understand. But if you do want to, I say go for it. Why not? Nothing held me back, so why should anything hold you back? And again, this is coming from someone that didn't hit the 100K goal. I set myself a challenge and I didn't hit it. So you don't have to take advice off me. I'm just saying what happened to me. So from here, I'm going to keep going with my agency, going to keep providing results for my customers, going to continually run ads, which is, again, quite nerve-wracking. Continually run ads, continually pay my staff, continually have a lot of sales calls every day. Hopefully the revenue can increase massively as well as the profits. But now my margins have gone down a little bit, but when the volume goes up a lot, it's kind of worth it. As opposed to having like pretty much 98% margins, I think now they'll be around the, with a really good month, they should be around 70%, which that's still a blessing. So that's really it for this video. I'm looking at my notes here. Have I left anything out? No, I haven't. I've covered pretty much everything I want to cover with you guys. If you want to continue to, support the journey and follow along, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. But if you enjoyed the 100-day challenge, let me know. If you're gonna start one yourself, or if you want to tell me about your career or your business journey, or what you're struggling with, or what you're enjoying right now, more than welcome to let me know in the comments as well. Always here for a conversation. But that's it from me, guys. As you can see, the sun is setting a little bit, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Again, like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave you guys to it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.